What's up guys, it's Desi. You guys might follow or know me for my eating disorder story or for my short film that went up recently on what it's like to live with depression and an eating disorder. This is another one of those videos. Yet this one I've been meaning to make for over 2 years. The reason it took me so long was the fear of being forgotten about or judged on this platform that I love so much. I never wanted to disappoint any of you or make you feel as if I lied to you in any way, but I was always going to feel like this. In order to reach the next chapter of my life, I need to tell you how a vegan diet essentially made me lose 2 years of my life. So to kick things off, let's go back to June 2015, which was when I uploaded a video called My Vegan Story. It was there where I explained what influenced me to go vegan, how I did it, tips, benefits, results, all of that. The first red flag when explaining how I transitioned from an omnivore to a vegan should have been that I considered starving myself and clean eating vegan, which is 100% not sustainable, 100% not healthy, or the correct way to discover veganism in the slightest. Just because I wasn't eating animal byproducts doesn't mean I could call myself vegan or pretend to understand what it's truly like to care about the suffering of animals. Because without realizing, or admitting I should say, I was still suffering from an eating disorder. On the surface, it would seem that I would dedicate my days to saving animals' lives and spreading the benefits of a plant-based diet. But deep down inside, my intentions were not as pure. And don't let that confuse you, because for the first few months that I was vegan, I watched all the documentaries, I read all the books, I was very aware of what was going on our planet and the suffering. But I feel as if I used it as a cover-up to hide the fact that I was still obsessed with the way I looked, more so the way I wanted to look. And at the time, what I thought I was eating was a vegan diet was giving me the results that I desired. I finally felt a part of something, a community, and you guys love the content I shared based on veganism and I loved creating it for you. But I think we can all agree that my journey wasn't the healthiest mentally or physically. I began to feel drained in more ways than just one, and I no longer had the energy or passion for the vegan message to create these kinds of videos. They were triggering almost, which I guess brings us to the next topic I'd like to talk about. I suffered from anorexia in 2013, and I'm sure you guys are aware of everything that comes along with that. But what I want to focus on is the diet of one who has anorexia, which unfortunately isn't much at all. Now, if you compare what I was eating before hospitalization in 2013 and what I was eating in June 2015, you would notice that there isn't much of a difference apart from in June 2015, there was no animal byproducts. And when you starve yourself, even for short periods of time, you find yourself gorging on anything you see. That's what happened the following year after anorexia in 2014. I self-diagnosed myself with BED, which is binge eating disorder. And I don't mean to cut that story short, but basically what happened was I gained all the weight back that I'd lost in the lead up to anorexia in approximately 5 months. We're talking 20 kilos, and it took me 5 months to realize I had a serious problem and just 3 months to lose it all. During those 3 months, I would say 1.5 was me eating plant-based. And if you've been around my channel since 2015, you'd know that I went on a trip for around a month to the US and Europe. It is no secret that traveling while vegan is difficult, and especially if you're traveling with others who aren't vegan and the access to plant-based foods is minimal. That was the exact position I was in, and there's no shame in admitting defeat. And in saying that, it all depends on what kind of person you are and how passionate and strict you are about veganism. On that trip, I allowed myself to let go of the strict vegan diet that I put myself under. At first on this trip, I took up a vegetarian diet to widen my options, until the thoughts of disappointment and failure ran through me. Meat suddenly looked appealing, and before I knew it, I was binging my way through every country. There was no one to stop me eating these kinds of foods because my parents didn't understand a vegetarian diet. Though I got to share so many moments with them that would have been confrontational if I had refused to eat anything but a vegan meal. And it's sad to say, but those moments meant a lot more to me than a cow's milk or a chicken's egg. Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps. When I got back home, all I could think about was going back to a vegan diet to ultimately lose the weight that I had gained on the trip, which honestly wasn't much at all. But what I forgot to leave behind was the urge to binge. And yet I so desperately wanted to be vegan, I found myself binging on non-vegan foods, which started the cycle of disappointment, binge, regret. Disappointment, binge, regret. And just like 2014, I gained all the weight back and a little more that I had lost before my trip. Fast forward to 2017, 2 years later, and all I have to show for it is many failed attempts at eating plant-based. The past 24 months has proven to be a valuable lesson, and that's not to push yourself to do something that you know is killing you and you know you're never going to be truly happy doing. And the reason I kept trying is because I didn't want to have to make this video and I didn't want to have to disappoint any of you, yet here I am. So in the past 5 months, I've stopped trying and I no longer label myself vegan, vegetarian, plant-based. I'm just me, and I've never been happier. I no longer fear food or stick to a strict diet of any kind. Weight loss got so much easier when I started listening to my body. And though I haven't eaten meat intentionally, it's not something I'd completely rule out. What I want to put out there and highlight for a minute to those of you watching is if you're struggling, recovering, or recovered from an eating disorder, think twice about going vegan. I need you to truly believe that the decision you are making is all your own and not that voice in your head that causes you to treat your body badly. If you're in a positive place with your health, body, and mind, then go right ahead. The benefits of a vegan diet are extremely rewarding for those who do it correctly. But I am not in that positive position, and that's why I've had to make the decision to not eat a completely plant-based diet. And even though I didn't have the best experience, I am so thankful for the awareness it has brought into my life, and I will continue making decisions based upon that. To all of you who tell me that I encouraged and I inspired you to go vegan, I hope this doesn't create any false hope within you. Everyone's story is different, and this one happens to be mine. I'm not ashamed of it, even though I kind of owned myself when I said, unlike failing other unethical diets, failing at eating vegan will call others to question your passion and your love for animals. 2015 me is judging 2017 me so hard right now, but honestly, I'm doing just fine.
If you know how I feel, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation. Like, you know I'm not happy, you know I'm trying.
Overall, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from and accept me for who I am rather than what I consume. Letting you all down was the last thing I wanted to do, and I never thought by sharing what I eat in a day could lead to an audience, which is kind of amazing. But I guess you have to be careful, especially when you're dealing with people's beliefs and touchy subjects. Something exciting that I'd like to mention is that my channel is going through a transition phase. This means I'll be putting out content on things I'm now more passionate about than food. I feel like I've mentioned this a few times on my social medias, but if you guys like me and you like my content, then please stick around. I've worked so hard to build this little family, and your engagement and your support is all I ask for in order to know if this is truly what I want to keep doing. And if you're wondering, I will continue to create vegan, vegetarian, what I eat in a days, that's the promise, since I eat plant-based 80% of the time. So if you're comfortable with me still sharing videos like that, let me know. Shout out to the few of you who are the first to comment on all my videos, like It's Just Brie. You guys are honestly amazing, and if you don't have my notifications turned on, then what are you doing? So don't forget to do that. But first, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and let me know what you want to see next. Lastly, thank you to all of you who are still on this video and who don't see me differently and who are going to stick around. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. You have no idea. I better go. I'm getting emotional, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me around, so how about this setup? Like, I really want to make a video showing you guys how to start YouTube, what you're gonna need, all that stuff. Okay, I'm rambling now. All right, see you guys, bye! Give it to me, I'm get no sleep 'cause of y'all. Y'all not gonna get a sleep 'cause of me. Yeah, boy!